Beautiful ignited souls, we are ready for a new creation. Beautiful ignited souls, thank you for joining us on the Us Ship. We are talking about united souls, not United States, but that too is all appropriate because state is a state of being, a emotional state, you could say, not just the physical. Having said that, what I have understood, so in my time of absence for about 5 weeks, I think it might have been, I have been busy writing, and it wasn't intentional, but again I just go with spirit. So I want to say that my thoughts were with you whilst writing, because everything that I am learning, or most things I should say, I feel it's for the benefit of sharing as well. So my thoughts had been with you, and still I'm thankful that you are here, where now we have a clear definition of this us. As you might have recalled that I used to say the us ship, but then through writing I realized that this is the united souls that we are talking about. There have been so many downloads that it has just been, I mean, I was writing like 44,000 words, and that's one set of words and one book, and then there's another 14,000. So I have just been writing, and it just seemed like I had to literally stop myself, and for self-preservation, of course. Now, what I have found out, and I want to share this with you, it is so, it's amusing, and it is also quite what we would say serious, or because we think of spirituality as if there is no humor within spirituality. And what I have discovered that the Bible, which is not with me right now, is very, it's a humorous tool. It's quite, there's a lot of wit. Perhaps no wonder the word wisdom, we are asked to seek wisdom. But wisdom, when we have to seek it, it's in that wit, it's in humor, it's in poetry, it's in praise, it's in affirmation, it's in the challenges, it's in everything. Now, in short, I want to elaborate, although I say in short, but that's the serpent. I'm doing the serpent thing. I want to elaborate that the videos that I was doing just before so it is my recent videos, just before the last one, which is about being, I think it's being authentic. That's my last video, being authentic, that I've posted. And I did this because I realized all the things that I was learning through the process of writing, that I was posed with a lot of questions for my personal growth and what I'm also teaching. And I also thought that I perhaps might lose all my subscribe, well, not all, but quite a few subscribers, because of what I am teaching and what I have discovered. Because the old paradigm is still with a lot of people, and we have to shift from that old paradigm. And it's like, it reminds me about, I have had so many analogies or meaning for the story of Moses when he was said on Mount Sinai to take off your sandals because this is holy ground. And why I'm saying this is that it is the analogy of shedding your skin. Now, one of the things that came to mind was that when Moses was told to take off your sandals because this is holy ground, it would mean that he would have to prostrate himself, bow down, flex himself. And this is the serpent doing the full cycle. You've got to, it's like saying you've got to see where you come from. This is holy ground. The womb, the earth is the womb. Now, what comes out of the earth here as well, because the sandals was mentioned here, we see that we could say like Roman sandals, where you have that crisscross, the two sandals, you could say that he would have to untie it. He would have to undo it. And that in itself would be an analogy of the serpents. We could say that. And this is what I talk about, the humor in the scriptures, speaking of wisdom and wit. And this is where I was at, because when you have to take off those sandals and you are asked to be bare feet, meaning to be bare, to connect, to reunite with that place where you have come from, the ground. He had to, at that stage, he is required to make direct connection with the womb, which is the ground or the land, because in actual fact we are the land, we are the ground, we are spirit, we are everything. But there's a part. It's like some people for many years they don't know what the ground feels like under their feet. And your feet is what really takes you onto the journey of where you are meant to go, or where you are destined to be. Now, how do you have that real connection with the ground that takes you where you need to be? This is holy ground. Another analogy is that we know for a fact that sandals or snake skin has been used to make sandals. This could also be said there's a degree of wit in that the message to say take off the sandals because this is holy ground, meaning there is the sandals, which is the snake skin, and you would have to make that eye connection, that undo it, just have that, reflection of your attachment to these sandals. To ask to be to take your sandals off your feet is being really, is asking you to have that reflection. Be conscious. That's it. Be conscious of what you are doing. You are actually taking off your sandals and you are going to have your feet on the bare ground. Now, what does that mean? And you have to then be conscious of how your feet feels on the ground. This is grounding. And this is why I said for a very long time that Moses had a Kundalini experience. This is the indication, or it's very indicative of the whole cycle of the serpent, the two serpents coming to form one. And this is number 5. So I am going to check on the time so we could keep these short enough. I mentioned, I might have not, because I have restarted this video, but I watched Savan. I don't clearly remember the first name right now, and he was speaking of the very things that I have been writing about. When it's all about the serpent. The serpent is the word. When we learn in the scriptures, for instance, and the serpent was the first one who speaks and say, have God said that you should not eat of the fruit, to the woman? And the woman answered and said, God said, if ye can eat of all the fruits, meaning we can eat, meaning perhaps you too. But this is, as I have mentioned before, this is like a mother and child. It's like, have your father said that you shouldn't eat all of this. But the mother is more or less saying, well, I know your father might have said that, but you won't surely die, because there is another intelligence that the mother has that the father has not got. Not in the sense of what it would be like to be in the womb. And so, mother is more or less saying, yes, there may be a die or a lie or whatever it is, but you are going to come back. You're going to come back just like Moses had to come back and put his feet on the ground. Now, here is the other thing that I mentioned before. I might be losing some subscribers, and I had to be authentic, and I have decided to be authentic in my measure of growth, meaning accept where I'm at right now and the message that is being given to me. So just because we are always doing numerology, I like to start because we have been speaking about the serpent. Now, what I really wanted to share is that I'll have to do this in several videos, because before my break of 4, 5, 6 weeks, I was speaking about what I encountered in the Bible. It was codes. The Bible is all codes. But I had more profound experience. I had loads of information being transmitted. It's that when the Bible says that in the beginning was the Word, meaning you were in the beginning and you are the Word. The Word was made flesh. The Bible says that, but we have taken this for granted because some things are like, funny, and some things are meant to be literal, and some things are, psychological, and all sorts of things. You are the flesh. So, flesh, the Word is the flesh. And this is, of course, W, we have always said, is W, to you. That is your, whether it's your spiritual, your physical, but your soulmate or your flame mate, whichever flame mate. Whatever it is, this is double. This is 3. This is 4. Numerical value is 4. This is M. This is mother. And so we have, this is 5, 6, 9, 4 equals 24, which is where we have our first miracle, you could say, where Mother Eve says, let there be light. This was 12, and there was life. This is another 12. This is creation. This is what we need to understand, that every time we speak, we are activating the words within us. This is why no matter what recipe someone gives you or tells you, or whatever course you're going to follow on, or I am designing a course, it is important that you activate your own code, which is unique as well. So we all are the Word. We all are letters, and I would ask that you watch my video on numbers and letters as well as the gifts of the Spirit that we have been given. So we all are these, meaning the 26 letters of the alphabet and 9 numbers that we are given. These are what we actually deconstruct. We stretch them out. They are elasticated. We take letters and we form sentences. We take sentences and we form paragraphs. We take paragraphs and we form essays. And essays we form books. And books we form libraries. And libraries we form communities, worlds, and it goes on. And so we are the Word. Now I am going to just, as I say, just give this as an introduction, and I wanted to express what has been happening throughout the time that I had been away, and how there is a sacred code in each of us. And you may have encountered my videos where I try to articulate what I had experienced through the scriptures on how the scriptures had been written, or how we are meant to read it now. Read it. Exactly. We are meant to read it, that shred it, and shed it. And that's what the serpent has been doing. The serpent sheds its skin. And with the skin, of course, is what we have been using as protective clothing for our feet. But there comes a time you have to take that protective clothing out and to be renewed, because there is like a gel, something have moth, and with your own energy and the skin of the serpent, and you have to shed this is that energy that you have to recycle. So I'm hoping we can really explore this, because what I have found out is that I have been, in fact, very, I'm quite honored. If I may say, quite honored that the secret that I could not pass on before my break in talking about the words and the codes that we are, is that I have been given the gift of healing, or to heal people. Well, people heal themselves, but this was transmitted to me that people who have been sexually abused can now heal themselves completely, implicitly, through the word, through exercise of words for the scriptures, and the application in a methodical way. Once this is applied over 5 days, because 5 is the number of change. Once this is done, and this can only be done at each quarter of the year, and within specific times. And so by doing that, you can have shed your skin and you take on new skin. So this is really beautiful. I'm very excited about that. But I, of course, will be teaching the word as the word was made flesh. So thank you. I hope you have enjoyed this. Please give us a like, as we are all together on this Us ship, and United Souls, of course. So as we embark on this journey, let us stay ignited and united.